Thanks, Councillor Corley. I also want to ask the Taoiseach whether he will respond to the calls from Ukrainian trade unions and socialist organisations to cancel Ukraine's debt. This is odious debt. It's debt as a result of the total oligarchisation of Ukrainian society, the refusal to go after the wealthy, and then horrendous conditions imposed by the IMF. The IMF repayments this year alone are the equivalent of 16.5 million average pension payments in Ukraine. It's 12% of the total state expenditure. The debt needs to be cancelled. It's a concrete measure that can be taken now. Second thing is to ask the Taoiseach is whether he raised with President Zelensky the recent decision to suspend 11 political parties, which between them got almost 20% of the vote at the last election. These aren't parties that we would agree with. They include the main opposition party, the right-wing opposition Platform for Life, which won 44 seats in the Ukrainian Parliament, but it is a worrying restriction on democratic rights, and it also undermines the struggle against the Russian invasion if the government is telling people, well, the parties you voted for are beyond the pale.
Context, and Deputy Murphy raised, as I said, in terms of the European Union already now, in the last Council meeting, decided to establish a fund to restore and to reconstruct Ukraine in the aftermath of the war, and also to help with its current budgeting. So that's been the European Union Council's response to that. And obviously issues to debt and all that will obviously have to be worked out in the aftermath of the war itself. In the meantime, the entire focus is now on trying to defend from a humanitarian perspective the people of Ukraine, and many members of Europe in terms of are sending lethal weapons to help Ukrainians defend themselves. We've sent non-lethal equipment and so on to help Ukrainians in the war effort, and that will continue. Deputy